So the bbfc is the British Board of Film Classification. It's funded by the film industry and censors all films, DVDs and video games under the Video Recorders Act of 2010. So the genre we've picked is psychological horror. The ratings that apply to these films are 12, 12A, 15 and 18. 12 rated films can contain mature themes, discrimination, soft drugs, moderate and infrequent swear words and moderate violence, sex references and nudity. An example of a psychological horror that is rated at 12 is The Others. This has one brief intimate scene with nothing major shown, usage of the words hell and damn, and a scene of an old woman inhabiting the body of a child, which is fairly disturbing but still fairly tamed. 12 rated films can not be rented or bought by anyone under the age of 12. So the next rating is a 12A. These are generally considered unsuitable for very young people. Those aged under 12 can only be admitted into a cinema if accompanied by an adult. They follow around the same regulations as the rating 12. An psychological horror example of this is Signs. This contains descriptions of graphic injuries, some violence, for instance when the extraterrestrial gets his fingers chopped off under the door, and some very scary themes. However, was released as a 12 on DVD. So the next rating is a 15. These can contain adult themes, hard drugs, frequent strong language, but limited use of very strong language, strong violence and strong sex references, but nudity without graphic detail. An example of a psychological horror that is rated a 15, quite a popular rating in this genre, is Session 9. This contains rude sexual graffiti, incestuous relationships mentioned, several bloody bodies, a graphic scene with an eye being damaged, a graphic murder, frequent swearing and minor drug use with some scary psychological themes. The last rating is 18. These films do not have a limitation on bad language. They can contain hard drugs and explicit sex references along with detailed sexual activity. These films are as far as ratings go in the cinema, so do tend to push the boundaries. One film that is a psychological horror rated 18 is Jacob's Ladder. This film contains some very gory war footage, some extremely disturbing and gory scenes in a hospital with scary deformed patients around, a strong theme of nudity throughout, and a sexual scene at a party, frequent bad language and lots of disturbing hauntings. So film regulation is pretty essential for the following reasons. If a child may see a film that should have been rated a 15 or an 18, they could disturb the child quite highly, or it could upset them, or maybe influence them in a way that they shouldn't be influenced at such a young age. Also, a viewer should have an idea of what sort of content a film contains before purchasing the DVD or going to the cinema and watching the film. This also regulates the film industry, so nothing too outrageous can be published in this country. So these are the main reasons for the bbfc and the ratings that they provide.